Hi ladies, Kat here, and I'm feeling very vulnerable as I'm barefaced, but I'm gonna share with you my easy go-to everyday makeup look. I put on my sunscreen, so my next step is to do a primer. It's just nice and matte and gives you a little bit of a nice filtered look. So I'll dot that around my face, and then I take my beauty blender and just make sure that I get it smooth and everywhere. Next step is I do foundation. I like a pretty natural look usually, especially for every day. I just take this little wand and kind of do it directly onto my skin. So I just put a few dots all over, and then I like to kind of use my fingers to blend it a little bit initially, because the warmth of your fingers helps kind of get it nice and even and into your skin. Then I go in with my beauty blender and I basically use it on every step I do. And I really believe in misting your face during the process of getting your makeup on. Especially now that I'm a little bit older, I want to keep as hydrated as I can. Now, I gave up on concealer until Becky shared with me the Clé de Peau concealer, and does exactly what you want concealer to do. I tend to get dark circles, so I dab a little bit, and I always use my fingers for this, onto my dark circle area and the bridge of my nose. And then I also put it on the side of my nose here and just kind of dab it in strictly with your fingers. A very useful trick that I've learned from the makeup artists that we work with at Cabi is taking your loose powder, take again my beauty blender, dab a little bit of powder there, and once you have your concealer, you kind of pat that into the areas where you've done your concealer. And what that does is really set it, but it also helps keep it set for the entire day. Now, I'm not big on a lot of highlight and contour, but I do think that depending on your face shape, it can really add, and there's a nice quick way to do it. For highlighter, I prefer liquid over powder, and I just put about the size of a small pea onto my hand. I do my high part of my cheekbone, then I put a little bit on the bridge of my nose, and then a tiny bit on my Cupid's bow. Then for contouring, I keep it really simple. I take my contour brush and go into, the skinny part of your cheekbones, that hollow part, and then a little bit under your chin and just above your eyebrows. Very simple. I've recently learned a new trick where you take your bronzer and put a little bit under the bottom part of your lip. It creates a little shadow that gives you a plumper lip look. So you can do a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom. And when you put your lipstick on, it just, it gives you a little extra boost. Like highlighter, I'm a fan of liquid blush. Again, with my finger, I put it only on the apple part of your cheeks. And once again, your go-to beauty blender, and just really make sure you're getting any excess off and that you just have the right amount. So next, let's move on to eyes. I always start with the base of a light color on my eyes all over the lid. So I have a nice big fluffy brush, tap that off, and just very nonchalantly whisk that all over my eyelid. I will get a nice fluffy brush here with my bronzer, and I just put a ton of it on, tap it off, and very casually just swoop it into the crease of my eye. And it's such a subtle color. What it does, it just opens my eyes up a bit. If you can look at my left eye that just has the base, and my right eye, it's giving it a little bit more definition. The next thing I do is with the same bronzer, just a little bit on a little more of a defined brush to swoop it underneath, just to kind of blend out and open the eye a little bit more. A great trick I've learned, again, from another makeup artist is called tight lining your eyes. So I look in the mirror and I look down, because it's a little easier to get it in there, and I just back and forth all along my lash line. So I don't know if you notice a difference, but my right eye, it just gives a depth to my eyelashes. So when I put on my mascara, it really opens up the eye. Moving on to my lashes. I just do a quick pass on my eyelashes to get them opened up and a little bit of a curl. I'm recently obsessed with this mascara. There's something about the wand and the product that just goes on very easy. This is black. I'm a big believer in black mascara. I don't put any on my bottom lid, my bottom lashes. What I do is I take the eyelash brush and I go through to make sure there's no clumps, and then I take the brush onto the bottom lashes. My last step before I do lips is eyebrows. The only product I use in the day usually is called Gimme Brow. So I swoop that over the brows, kind of brushing them straight up to make them look a little more fluffy. After I do that, I take my spindle, I think these are called, and brush them up again to get off any excess. Okay, my final step is always a lip. My go-to lately has been this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Lips. The color is called Too Bad I'm Bad. And it's a great wand. It's actually a matte liquid lipstick, so you can put a little bit in the center of your lips, smack it around, fill it in a little bit, and use your fingers to really pat it in, and voila, I'm ready for my day. Done my hair, got it nice and straight. I know it seems like a lot of steps, but once you do it, it becomes very fast, and I'm out the door and off to the office in the design room or whatever my day brings. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a couple little tips and tricks that are easy for you to replicate if you want. Bye, ladies.